This is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest Talon mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talon Mix, the Smallville recap podcast that is back from the ashes after the birth of my child. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, here as always with my pal, Zach. Zach, fuck, marry, kill, Clark Kent, Lex Luthor, or your friend Brian Miller.
Oh my god.
Top of your head. Don't overthink it.
So if I marry you, do you come with the kid?
I think so, yes.
Or is that like part-time? Is that like weekends or something?
No, I'm moving into your house immediately with a child. It's going to be a real full house situation. I'm also assuming in this scenario, my wife has died, and she has told me her wish is for me to move on and to marry you.
Okay. Oh, man. See, I was going to say, you probably fuck Lex Luthor, right?
Right.
He's the best lay of the three of you.
Almost definitely.
And that's no shade at you.
Oh, it's accurate. I am a mediocre on a good day. That's what to expect if you choose to marry me, my friend.
See, if I marry Clark, though, I get the protection. You know what I'm saying?
Also gaslighting, though.
That's true. He is kind of a whiny bitch, too.
So I am currently fighting between, you're definitely fucking Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I'm currently fighting between marrying you or you shooting me in the back of the head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, that's exactly right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to make some things here. He's going to gaslight you. He's going to make you feel crazy.
Look,
he's
Brian,
never going to tell you the truth.
You and I were basically married in college without the intercourse. So, I mean, like I think people had called us a married couple at more than one occasion. Yeah, I'll marry you. You know, the devil you know.
Thank you for saving my life.
I don't know what I'm getting with Clark. Plus, it'd be fun to raise a kid with you.
There we go. That definitely wouldn't fuck this kid up. Wow, you just killed Superman.
This kid I did the impossible. This kid would be the only kid in school talking about Smallville.
Oh, that is maybe the life my child is doomed to.
It would be his social outcast. Brian, we're back, baby. And not Back Baby the character. We're back, baby.
We should be Back Baby the character. I wish we were Back Baby the character.
I wish we had more Back Baby episodes. That would be...
Did he die?
I think so.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
But he's got a lot of Back Babies.
That's right. Like, one could have ran off into the woods.
Exactly. I have had a meteor rock shaped hole in my heart this whole time we've been not doing this podcast.
Me as well. Obviously I of course mainly missed the excuse to talk to you every week, even though we text all the time. But I also, I watched the episode of Smallville today and I was like, oh, I missed watching this every week.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
It's a good show.
Even if it's not the best episode.
Yeah, this was a good one to dive back into, I thought. It was a good mix of there was some fun stuff here. I like this one. Not like this one. I like watching this one.
This one leans into the teen drama of it all because there's only 2 Lex scenes.
Yeah, right.
And no Lionel. So
no Lionel's a mark against.
It is. But this is the first season where there have been some good non-Lionel episodes.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. It's a lot to remember. It's been a little while, and my whole world's been rocked upside down.
Brian, I don't believe there's anything more important in your life than Smallville.
There never will be. I'm saying that on mic, and I mean it. Priority number uno. Speaking of all of that, it's going to be ridiculous to say the words that the podcast might be a little chiller for a little while. That sounds because I know we're a super mega polished product up to this point. Currently, what I'm going for right now is we're just kind of doing this thing live to tape. We're recording it. We're putting it up. The sloppy ass product that we currently put up and like are quote unquote proud of and should be embarrassed about still takes like 2 to 3 hours. And I thought, we recorded four shows. Then I'm like, my whole life will get an order in that time, and then it'll be right back. Everything's a mess.
You should start posting those season 1 episodes.
There we go. So we're gonna, for a little while, just be recording these, having fun, and pretty much uploading them as is. I hope that's okay. I hope you stick around. Thank you if you do. Fuck you if you don't. The other order of business, Zach and I were just talking about this before we recorded. We're missing an episode. Somewhere in the chaos and confusion of a small human being ripped out of my wife, we lost 2 files of audio and are missing the episode before this. It is a lost episode of the Talon Mix. Put it on the pile of lost episodes of the Talon Mix. If I find it, I'll edit it up and get it up. But we're just moving on, moving forward. I don't think anybody cares.
I mean, this is a 2-parter, and this is the second part.
I will say barely, though. Barely, though.
Yeah, it's not a 2-parter. It's not like a to be continued, but this is a 2-episode arc.
It is the least convenient pair of episodes this season for this to have happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. We can recap it. We can recap it for people from what we remember, which is, it was like a month.
It was a while ago. It was 4 Superman movies ago.
4 Superman movies and 1 human being ago.
Yeah. Shit. I need to get my daughter some Smallville merch, right? I don't even know if baby Smallville merch exists, but I have to.
Oh, Brian, let me tell you something. There does, because I looked at it.
Oh, shit.
I was going to send you this thing. It was like a Lionel baby onesie. I found it one day, and then I was like, I'll order that soon. This is before Christmas. I could not find it ever again. I looked like 6 times.
It's the Bigfoot of baby wear.
Yes. Yeah. But there are plenty of, you can put
what the fuck does a Lionel Luthor baby onesie mean? Was it his face?
I mean, it's just
was it
a picture of
suit?
John Glover on a onesie. You can put anything on a onesie,
That's
Brian.
true. That's true. I was it like a pinstripe suit and a wig?
Just a flowing head of hair.
I'm already very excited about baby Halloween costumes, so that's where my head is.
Oh, yes. Oh, you and your wife, you guys are going to come up with something sick.
I'm kind of leaning towards a Macho Man Randy Savage. There's a costume of that.
Okay, I thought you were going to do Terrifier or something.
That'd be good. My wife won't watch Terrifier. But
Macho Man, that's really funny. Yep, great.
Hey, Zach, what we can't recap everything we've watched since last time we spoke. But
we did that on the Patreon anyway. People got to pay for that.
Hey, we got a Patreon. There's a link in the description of this podcast. Come hang out with us there. Give us your money, or don't. It's fine. So I don't know. You got any highlights? 1 to 3 highlights?
Well, the last few weeks I saw Creed 3.
Which is fine. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe.
As good as Creed 2.
I did not see Creed 2. I'm currently making my way through the Rockies. I'll get to it then. We'll talk more about Rocky on a different podcast coming soon.
Okay, so I watched Babylon since we last spoke. I enjoyed it. I'd say I recommend it.
I'm excited to see
everyone.
it. I liked Whiplash, and it feels weird to come in and like, I liked La La Land, but I liked La La Land.
I'll one up you. I loved La La Land.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You own it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
On Blu-ray.
Wow. So you really liked it.
I really liked it.
My wife, I believe that came out. Sorry, La La Land. I believe
no, go ahead.
I believe came out around when my wife and I started dating.
Perfect.
And I saw it probably a little before. So I saw it with my mom, and my wife watched it on a plane, and she texted me that she tried to watch it and turned it off halfway through, and I did like note that. I wouldn't say like red flag, but like I noted it.
I mean, that's not a plane movie.
It's not a plane movie. You're right.
No, not a plane movie. Throw on one of the Jurassic Worlds or something.
That's what I did.
Anyway, Babylon, it's like 3 hours. It's like being on coke for 3 hours, but in a good way.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I watched 13 Lives, which was the Ron Howard movie about the kids stuck in the cave in Thailand.
I don't think I know that.
It came out last year with Colin Farrell, Viggo Mortensen.
I think this somehow completely went under my radar.
Joel Egerton. Yeah, it was good. It was pretty tense. Scream 6. Saw Scream 6.
You're a big Scream guy for anybody not familiar.
The Scream franchise is my Fast and the Furious. No, I actually think they're much better than those movies. But
I mean, you got the original at bare minimum. Certainly, you have.
I think the first two are both 5-star movies, and then it's like I'm just having fun. This one's no exception. I had a lot of fun with it. The people who made it clearly appreciate these movies, and it's a lot of fun. Cool. Then I watched for the first time ever the John Wick trilogy. I had seen John Wick 1.
Yeah.
And I was not a fan when I saw it the first time. I liked it slightly more this time, but I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the second and third much more. When it just got more absurd and more like it got more like fantasy,
right?
This world where everyone's an assassin,
right?
That was fun.
My John Wick story. I saw the first. I remember when the first one came out. I really liked it. That said, I will say I watched it on like a Sunday afternoon, and it was purely like, oh, I heard this was good, and I hit rent and like was very pleasantly surprised by it. So those expectations are maybe important to throw out there. Second one, I actually wasn't crazy about. But that one, I'll say I was half drunk and it was in the middle of the night and I threw it on. That said, my dad really, really liked both. Loved both. And my father's and my movie interests do not overlap at all. So typically, if we can get halfway there, I really latch on, right? And I'm going to go to Connecticut, see my parents. Whenever John Wick 3 is coming out, my dad's like, John Wick 3 is coming out. Would you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Great. And I'm really really latching on to that. My dad and I are going to go see John Wick 3. That's going to be fun. We'll bond over that. Me, an adult man, looking for ways to bond with my father. We'll make it a thing. It'll be fun. We go see John Wick 3. My dad comes out. It was just all fighting the whole time. That's what I'm so mad at him in the car. It was just like the other two fucking movies. It was the same movie as the other two fucking movies.
He's not wrong, Brian. It's a lot of fighting.
But you loved the other fuck.
Yes, I agree. I agree with both of you. I think you are right to be. I think you are right to be outraged by it. But I would also say, I think in the third one, the fights do go on a little long.
No, I'm with you. I couldn't admit that at the time because I was so just flabber fucked.
Yeah, if you don't, the fighting. That's so funny. No story.
Oh, I was so mad. I was so fucking mad.
Before we move on to what you've seen, I just want to. This is the segment of the show called Brian and Zach complain about the length of a movie they haven't seen yet.
Here we go, baby.
John Wick 4, almost 3 hours long.
That's a long fucking movie.
Too long for a John Wick movie. I am sorry.
I love good choreography, but like you hit a point where like, I get it. The emotional stakes here, I understand them. We can move on.
Hold on. John Wick Chapter 4. Unless they're adding like more, 2 hours and 49 minutes.
That's so long. That's so fucking long, man.
That's just for that kind of movie, especially. Oh my gosh.
No, right.
Anyway.
It's not like a complex character or anything. What do you have? What do you need 2 hours and 40 minutes for? What do you need for?
I mean, The Batman, a movie you and I both liked quite a bit. 2 hours and about the same length. Could have been 25 minutes shorter, and I would have been fine.
And not even like, ooh, you have to kind of like easy, chop. Like,
yeah, exactly. Just let me add it. Let me add it.
Give me a machete. I don't even need a scalpel. Give me a fucking machete. I'll make that movie shorter.
So what have you been watching, Brian?
Just on that like thought, some movies like, oh, you'd have to rework some stuff really seriously. Like, not the Batman.
For sure.
That said, I really like that movie, to be clear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of gonna rock it through some stuff. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, delightful. The animation was gorgeous, really visually appealing, some really fun action set pieces, and some good jokes. Some people were like really falling head over heels for it. I was happy to watch it at home on Peacock. But it's good if you're into that kind of thing. Triangle of Sadness. This was the Palme d'Or winner this year. It was up for Best Picture. It is fucking 2 hours and 45 minutes-ish. Maybe closer to 3. And I would say not worth that time. It's got some highs. It's got some pretty high highs. Never quite justifies that fucking length, though.
There's no John Wick fight scenes.
Yeah, right. It's a little... Triangle of Sadness can basically be summed up as a whole bunch of rich people go on to a cruise, pirates attack that cruise, and then the boat sinks, and these rich people, they can't even handle being on an island. And it's a little like... That's not that... I don't know if every satire needs to have some brand new fucking sharp edge take on it. Sometimes you can just kind of riff on an idea. That's a long time to do that.
Yeah, that sounds like an hour and a half.
Easily in an hour and a half. A lot of complaints about Rian Johnson's Glass Onion were like, well, the satire's not anything new. That's okay with me. Triangle of Sadness, though.
That's my least favorite criticism.
Right.
There's nothing new, Brian. There's nothing new.
There's nothing new.
Like, there's new presentation. There's no new idea.
Ever. At all. About anything.
No.
Yes, exactly. I watched, I threw this on a whim on Shudder. Have you heard of this? It came out in 2019. In Search of Darkness.
Oh.
It is a documentary about 80s horror. And
maybe I have heard about that. Yeah.
Let me be clear to our other point here. So I guess I'll get right to it. It is 4.5 hours. It is 4.5 fucking hours. I am torn between, like, was a Shudder exclusive. You easily could have hacked this up into hour-long episodes and called it a fucking documentary series, like a limited series. But part of me kind of loves the balls to be like, nope, this is a movie, and it's 4.5 fucking hours. It splits. There are chapters. You could easily, roughly every hour is a new chapter. Easily. So I kind of love that. That said, this is nothing ambitious, nothing crazy. It's likable talking heads from the horror world and like podcast personalities and footage from fun movies. I haven't finished it yet. I watched probably 2 hours of it in 2 chunks. I got 2 chunks of it left to go. I'm finding it very enjoyable. Along that note, though, this is a 4.5 hour movie about 80s horror films, right? Apparently, that wasn't enough time because the year after that, another 4.5 hour film called In Search of Darkness 2 came out about the same period of time. 4.5 more hours about 80s horror films. And that,
really getting the back catalog probably with that one.
And that apparently not being enough, the year after that, released In Search of Darkness 3, 6 hours.
So like by the third one, they're talking about like canon movies.
I hope so.
Like,
I hope so. That said,
like,
it's yeah, it's hard to be mad at the length in this scenario of like, A, it's a streaming exclusive and it's perfect like laundry folding stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a movie you need to sit down and watch. This is do your dishes, make dinner, have it on, turn it off, pick it back up. But if you're interested in that topic, recommend it. Let's see. I think there were a couple of other things I wanted to talk about. Also on Shudder, I watched Possession from 1981. It's starring Sam Neill. It's fucked up. That's all I'll say. It's fucked up. I recommend it. Fucked up.
I wish they still had video set like tapes so that like the cover of that movie could have like a review snippet by you that says "fucked up" with an exclamation point.
It's the good.
Nowadays, that would sell. That would sell
I
videos.
think so.
You know what I mean?
It's the good artsy kind of fucked up. I think it's if you're into horror and you haven't watched it. I had not seen it before this. Worth watching. I downloaded a whole bunch of old episodes of TNT's Monster Vision, hosted by Joe Bob Briggs. I watched it when I was a kid. I found what I could on YouTube. I've now gone, and I've gone onto various BitTorrent websites, and there are huge collections of them. I've downloaded basically every episode that's been digitized, and I'm enjoying going through that. I watched Damnation Alley. Have you heard of this?
I hadn't until I read your Letterboxd review.
So, in 1977, 20th Century Fox had 2 science fiction adventure films on their slate. The one they were excited about, the one they were banking on, was called Damnation Alley. The other was Star Wars. And there's one we're still talking about, and then there's Damnation Alley. Big time stinker, not good, not worth seeking out on its own. That said, fun watch. I enjoyed it in the middle of the night while feeding my screaming daughter.
It's not good.
No, very bad. Even by the time my summation there also doesn't account for the fact that during production things were falling apart. It was more early ahead of time was when they were excited.
Gotcha.
Like that was the one they were going to bank on. I believe by the end, budget was even being siphoned from Damnation Alley to finish Star Wars. That said, it was fun in a TV cut kind of way.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk about, I watched a lot of other stuff, but we talked about this a little bit over text. I finally bit the bullet. I watched Clerks 3.
Oh, yeah. Clerks 3.
Oh, boy. So I, like a lot of young white suburban men in the 2000s, big Kevin Smith fan. Which we talked about it on the show before. I think there was something to, like, obviously, as a young white man, all movies were made for me. But there was something, too. He was making movies about guys who were, about other white men, who were talking about the same thing that I was talking about with my friends and swearing a lot, which was mostly girls and Star Wars, right?
Like comic books, Star Wars. These things weren't dominating the world back then.
Right. So you kind of took what you can get. And like that was, and I think Kevin Smith was also an element of like, I think he's a gateway filmmaker for a lot of people, especially for people who are interested in making movies or being involved in movies. Cause it's a little like, well, I could fucking do that because he wasn't very good, you know, like, well, shit. I could fucking line people up in a two-shot reverse shot. Like,
Brian, he was mentioned along great filmmakers back in the 90s.
I was trying to explain, and I think people did not enjoy my contribution to this conversation. My good friends, but it's Kevin Smith has a film in the Criterion Collection. It's Chasing Amy, which doesn't hold up very well.
I haven't seen it since probably high school, but I remember it not. From what I remember, I would say it probably hasn't aged great.
It's a lot of characters just saying homophobic things for the majority of the runtime. It's I don't have a full. It's basically in my trying to explain that it is an important piece of 90s cinema. I think I stand by that. It is an important piece, important to the conversation when you're talking about 90s independent cinema. That, in the bar I was in, sounded a lot like I was defending Chasing Amy as a good movie, which I was not trying to do. I think it's an interesting movie, that said. So I watched Clerks 3. And it's bad. It's very bad. I'd say it's definitively very bad. It's ugly. No one's good in it. It's a sappy nostalgia fest. There aren't many jokes. That said, I'm not made of stone, and I kind of liked it is the wrong word. By the end of it, I'm like, I'm glad you did it, you little son of a bitch. Like, I was happy to transit and check in on my old friends again one time.
Just to make our people who listen who like Smallville squirm a little longer, what was your take on Clerks 2?
Liked it at the time. Liked it a lot at the time. Haven't seen it since then.
That's the exact same thing that I had.
Yeah.
I was not nearly the Kevin Smith fan you were.
Yeah.
But I had seen Clerks in high school, and then probably just the once. And then I saw Clerks 2, and I liked it a lot when I saw it.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was really funny. But I haven't seen it since.
I also randomly rewatched, it was on TV, Jersey Girl. Jersey Girl might be Kevin Smith's movie that's actually kind of good in that it's a completely generic rom-com.
Right. Yeah.
But, like, it's a movie.
It's a movie. Yeah. I mean, Dogma's got some quality to it, right?
Dogma, I think, is a fun script that's very boringly directed. I think that's the deal with Dogma. But anyway, I brought up Jersey Girl because Kevin Smith used to host this film festival called Vulgarthon in Red Bank, New Jersey. And it was usually like his movies / adjacent movies in his circle, right? And my high school girlfriend got us tickets because I was a huge Kevin Smith fan, which I was very excited about. The problem was I didn't want to be dating this girlfriend. I really wanted to break up with this girlfriend. Zach's head is in his hands. So I do finally decide, because it's months away, eventually I can't do it. I have to break up with her. It's literally not worth it. And my intention is to, like, buy the tickets from her. That's my intention, right? You're laughing. I haven't even gotten to the worst fucking part yet. Like, that's the thing.
Oh, no.
That's the thing I'm going to do. Because we're going to, like, that high school fucking thing of, like, we're going to stay friends, which I didn't want to fucking do, but, like, what do you do when you're breaking someone's heart, you know? Like, to which she says to me, like, after I break up with her, like, we can still go to the thing. So me and this girl, like, dumped months ago to hop a train to Red Bank, New Jersey and go to this. And I got to see Clerks 2 there months early, which was the highlight of my life.
Yeah, I bet that was pretty exciting.
Oh my god, it was the other moment there that was at the time incredibly exciting to me. Now is kind of nothing, but at one point, so I'm seated in the aisle, right? Jason Mewes busts into the auditorium, sits next to me, not next to me because I'm in the aisle. So he sits next to me, cross-legged in the aisle for the majority of a movie. And then there's a Q&A afterwards. And Jason Mewes leans over to 17-year-old me and says he wants to go get fucking lunch. He's going to start clapping to try. And when he starts clapping, he wants me to start clapping to try and wrap this up so that he can go get lunch. And I'm 17, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing that's ever whatever you say.
Do you want me to get in a van with you?
Yeah, I would have. That said, Clerks 3, not very good. Not very good, but I think if you kind of know what you're getting into, it's hard to be mad at.
I mean, if you saw the trailer, you know that it's not.
Exactly that. If I were off air, I'm going to tell you what happens in this movie, and you're going to think I'm fucking making it up. It's insane. It is an insane movie on top of everything else. It's insane. I did watch the just continuing to make. This is a Smallville podcast. We'll get around to it. I haven't talked to an adult in a while.
Yeah. I mean, I'm close. I'm close to that.
I watched the Clerks cartoon, the animated series. Delightful. Actually, similarly, there are jokes that don't hold up, but like there are jokes. It's a 22-minute sitcom with jokes. So if you're going to watch one Clerks thing, go back and watch the Clerks animated series that got canceled. I believe they made 6. They canceled it after 2.
I watched both of those episodes.
On TV, really.
It was airing.
It was ABC. It was like real.
Mm-hmm.
I believe what happened was UPN ordered 14 episodes. And then they turned UPN down to go to ABC because ABC wants it. And what they should have done was do UPN. They probably could have had a real run on UPN.
Not the audience for that.
Not at all.
Also, UPN, you don't have to have as high ratings to stick around.
Exactly.
It's the right age demographic. Stupid. That's a bad decision.
I distinctly remember, like, on the commentary track for the Clerks animated series, that's the thing. They were like, we should have done that. We made a fucking mistake. The bare minimum, they would have aired all the episodes they made.
Right.
But yeah, the show has jokes. The actual, like, showrunner of the show would go on to showrun Veep, so that makes sense. Clerks the animated series. It's pretty good. And it's only 6 episodes, and it's on the Roku channel for free. So, I don't know. I recommend checking that out. That's maybe the one Kevin Smith thing I no holds barred recommend checking out. It's pretty funny. Is that it? Is that everything?
I mean, we could talk about more stuff because it's been so long since we've done this, but we probably should talk about Smallville.
I think it's about that time.
Wednesday, someone will discover Clark Kent's secret.
Oh my God.
Fresh new Smallville.
Wednesday at 8 on Cleveland's WB.
Okay, this week we watched Pariah. It is the 12th episode in the 4th season of Smallville, the 78th episode overall, and it aired February 2nd, 2005. Zach, this is the second part of a two-parter, like we said up top. A loose two-parter. Should we give like a basic overview of the contents of the lost episode?
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember. So Alicia got out of Belle Reve?
Yes, Alicia.
Was she in Belle Reve?
I believe that is correct. Alicia appeared last season. Clark goes on a date with her. If you haven't heard the episode, my wife Emily watched that episode with us back in season 3.
Alicia is the girl that both Brian and I were in love with in college.
And still am.
When we saw these episodes, she came back. She has great chemistry with Tom Welling. She had like a doctor who was creepy and obsessed with her.
Right.
And
she read Kay's Clark.
She read Kay's Clark.
Fuck, there was some Red K in the lost episode. Red K Brian.
So
Red K Brian must have deleted the episode. That must be what happened.
Now you have to do a 2-minute recap as Red K Brian.
That's it. Red K Brian owes us that. Red K Brian will follow those rules. I believe also Red K Brian came out extremely anti sex out of marriage, sex outside of marriage.
Yeah. Oh, you got to find that episode. Yeah. So she gives him Red K because she wants him to run away with her. They go to Las Vegas and get married. It's not legal because they're not 18. Some other shit happens. Anyway, the episode ends with I think they're going to be a couple.
No, Alicia gets shot and they break up.
Yeah, but then they kiss at the end. They break up for a second and then they kiss.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that part. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Alicia gets shot protecting Clark's secret. So she's like, oh, he's like, oh, maybe I can just date her. There was some really boring shit with Lana and Jason Teague. Right?
Yeah. Oh, that sounds about
Jason
about
Teague
right.
Jason Teague is being distant because he found out that his mom, or he suspects that his mom has engineered their relationship for nefarious purposes.
Right. And that's not going to become clearer in this episode. This is where the writers are really going for it. Because Jensen Ackles has another gig.
Sense.
What's that?
Not only does it not make sense, but it's boring.
The beautiful Smallville one, too. Okay, it is karaoke night at the Talon. Chloe and Lois are belting out their best version. That's some editorializing here, Wiki. I'm, of course, reading directly from smallville.fandom.com. Their best version of Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll. Nothing better than a sober teen karaoke night.
At a coffee house.
At a coffee shop.
I will say I disagree with the wiki. I think Erica Durance and Allison Mack are intentionally not doing their best singing job in that scene. I thought it was a choice.
I'm with you. Are you a karaoke guy?
Absolutely not. No.
I'm kind of the same. I'll go. Like, if my friends are going, I'll go and I'll drink a lot and be very excited for people. But you kind of have to kill me.
But I don't drink really.
Yeah,
so
that's important.
That's like it's just listening to people sing badly.
Right. And I enjoy being a ham and I love attention. But karaoke, I just like, nope, no one wants this. No one wants this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely not sober teen karaoke.
Definitely not sober teen coffee shop karaoke. So Clark comes in with Alicia Baker by his side. The music fades and the entire audience stares at Alicia with contempt. Disgusted, Lana gets up to leave while Jason stays to confront Clark and Alicia. He spits out that he can't believe that Clark brought her here, and Clark tries to stand up for Alicia, but she hurries away in tears. Clark, we gotta talk here, buddy. You look like you had a thought there, Zach.
No, go ahead. You first.
So, if anyone doesn't remember, Alicia, your girlfriend, Clark, did try to, kill Lana. Wasn't
1 year... Not 1 year ago.
Wasn't, kind of mean to Lana. like straight up, was going to kill her dead.
Yeah.
Was going to put her in the fucking ground. Maybe you should have anticipated this.
Right, and you can't be like, I didn't know Lana was going to be there. It's at her coffee shop that she runs.
And lives.
She literally lives there. She lives upstairs. You brought this woman to her home.
Clark. It's like, don't get me wrong. Date who you're going to date. Vibe however you're going to vibe. You have to have known this was going to be an issue.
Well, I just also, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about because I didn't have a girlfriend in high school, but I went out places in the hopes of getting a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So once I had them, if I had the girlfriend,
Yeah,
I don't think I would be like, oh, let's go to karaoke.
We have DVDs that we're not going to watch. We're going to make out in front of instead.
Exactly. I did want to say, I understand Lana being upset and those people, but the whole place goes silent when she walks in. Like, I was in high school. If the girl was that attractive, there would be people like, I'll be your friend. I'll be your fucking friend. I don't care who you tried to kill. It's fine.
Oh, man. I've been a high school boy. I get it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's right.
Later,
I'm just saying how it was.
it was how it was, man. Later that night, Lana is showering when an unknown presence glides through the keyhole of her door and tries to suffocate her with the shower curtain. Jason hears the commotion and breaks into the bathroom just in time to save her. I don't know if that was the right spot. I think so. I took a swing.
No, that was right.
Great. Yeah. I would say sometimes I am watching Smallville while playing a video game, right? While playing like Super Mega Baseball 3. In this case, I was trying to watch Smallville while taking care of a screaming child who simply would not stop screaming. And the video game is way easier to pay attention during.
I was going to say, which one's more enjoyable?
Yeah.
So a couple things. That it's pretty brutal imagery of a young woman being suffocated by a shower curtain.
Yeah, we
for
love
a
that in the
WB show.
2000s, huh?
Pretty graphic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Jason Teague knocks the door open with his shoulder, which is a common thing in TVs and movie. If you were going to have to break a door down, would you not kick it, Brian?
I've done it with shoulder.
You've broken a door open with your shoulder before.
I mean, okay, I will be clear. I used to take care of my grandmother who had very severe dementia. She locked herself in a laundry room and was like freaking the fuck out. So no, I gave it a couple good like shoulder hits. And that got I will say it was a flimsier door. It was not like a front door of a house.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Because my instinct is like, that would hurt my fucking shoulder.
Oh, it wasn't like good.
Yeah.
And this was a flimsy, weak door that the Rock could have just pushed open. But because the two there are two genders. There's Brian and there's the Rock. Those are the two.
Those are the two. But that's okay. So it can be. It is done. Some people do slam their shoulders into
foot.
the closed doors.
In retrospect, sure, the foot probably would have done the job and probably would have sucked less.
I guess you could F your knee up, getting jammed on a door or something.
You know what? You could F your knee up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the hospital, Jason tells Clark that Lana doesn't want to see him.
Although medical, where she is diagnosed with athlete's foot.
Yeah, right.
I think.
So Lois and Chloe point out that there's only one person in town who can enter and exit locked rooms unseen. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, right.
We're in season 4 here of a show with a pretty
Yeah.
regular formula. We're not throwing out there the possibility like that Clark's crazy for it could have been somebody else.
So, in that scene where Chloe and Lois and Clark are talking, Chloe makes 2 separate references to William Shatner.
I remember one. Oh, you're right. It's 2. It's what's that show?
T.J. Hooker.
Yeah, that was it.
And Captain Kirk.
Right.
But it's not in the same sentence. It's separate parts of the conversation.
Was somebody in the writer's room just having fun?
Yeah, I think so. They also made a reference to, they called her a bunny bailer, which I didn't know what that was, so I Googled it. They referred to Alicia as a bunny bailer.
I also flagged that. I didn't look it up. You're smarter than me.
It's basically, I'll read you the definition because that's better than me. Bunny. Oh no, now it's not coming up. Bunny
Baylor.
Is it Bunny Baylor? Maybe I'm not reading my own. Boiler. Bunny Boiler. Yes.
That's more of a word than Baylor is.
Bunny Boiler.
Is that in reference? Is that in reference to like Glenn Close?
Well, it's a British English noun, slang, a person, especially a woman, who is considered to be emotionally unstable and likely to be dangerously vengeful. So that word is canceled.
Yeah,
that phrase.
Well, is that in reference to what's the Michael Sheen, Glenn Close?
Michael Douglas. Oh, is that her character? Okay.
She boils the rabbit in the movie. Michael Douglas is having an affair and like with Glenn Close.
Bunny Boiler.
And Glenn Close is crazy. Yeah.
Mystery solved.
Yeah.
Gross. She boils a bunny. I've never seen that movie, obviously.
I've never seen it. I just know that scene.
Bunny Boiler. All right.
It's he comes into the kitchen and there's a pot. And it's his like daughter's pet rabbit boiling.
That's not cool. That's not cool.
It's in fact not cool in the movie. No one's like happy it happened.
It's decidedly not cool.
Yeah, Michael Douglas saying like yum.
Does he say not cool when he sees it?
He should, because if not, he's endorsing it. Okay, so Lois and Chloe are like, yo, it's Alicia. Clark objects, saying that Alicia is wearing her special lead bracelet to subdue her powers, and that he was with Alicia at the time of the attack, so she couldn't be responsible. I liked Lois here when Clark is talking about the lead bracelet, and Lois like, was she wearing a low-cut shirt when she told you that?
I didn't catch that. That's great.
It's good.
That's great.
So he tells the same version of events to Sheriff Adams the next morning. The sheriff leaves. Martha and Jonathan again tell Clark that they disapprove of him dating Alicia. Upset, Clark maintains Alicia's innocence and reminds them that they taught him to look for the good in people.
So the sheriff comes in and says, he tells the sheriff that Alicia was with him, and she said, "You better not be lying to me, Mr. Kent, because that's the only thing keeping me from." She says, "Because that's the only thing keeping me from throwing her in jail." I'm like, really? Based on what evidence are you going to throw this girl in jail?
Yeah, right.
There's literally zero evidence. Zero.
There's a line here because I don't know exactly where it is, and I don't know that the wiki here is going to specifically call it out. But Lois talking to Chloe basically casts doubt on the idea of meteor freaks, which hang the fuck on.
I have that in the notes.
Hang the fuck on. So you believe that she can teleport.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Because in the last episode that we lost, you and I discussed how we finally got an answer to, do people know about the meteor freak?
Right.
Because everyone knew that she could teleport, and she was wearing that bracelet. So it was like, it seemed like finally they were saying, okay, now everyone knows.
Right.
No,
Guess
and Smallville's
fucking
like,
not.
hold on a second. We want to have our cake, and we want to eat our cake at the same time.
But you still know she can teleport. So, like, once someone can fucking teleport and we have the technology to make a lead bracelet that makes that not happen, everything's off the table. You can't be like, it's the meteors. I'm not going to be like, whoa, that's fucking crazy.
Right. I truly don't understand. The writers want to be able to have characters be skeptical.
Right.
But they also want them to know that it's true when they want them to know that. I mean, this has been dicey for a long time, but it's really starting to chafe.
Seriously. Okay, at school. Sorry.
Hold on. In that scene where Clark is talking to his parents, Mama Kay, like dialed up to 11, says this line. I just don't understand. Why do you continue to see her knowing how we feel? Fuck off, Mama Kay. Fuck right off.
Seriously. How did your dad feel about your husband?
Right. You're so lucky you didn't have a real teenager and you had Clark Kent. Just so you know.
I gotta say though, I'm on Team Mama Papa K. You should not be dating this girl.
Right. You're on, obviously that's true. However, I don't think I'm on the way. I'm not on the team of the way they're handling it.
No, I agree. And like also obviously Clark, I think that's why the Alicia character is so good. I completely understand why Clark wants to date this girl.
Yes.
Pretty girl with equal. Yeah, I think everybody here is kind of has ground to stand on, you know?
Yes. Well, it's not that she's pretty. She is, but she's adorable.
Yes.
Like, she's very sweet and has good chemistry with him. Like, you get it.
Which is, I gotta say, why I'm surprised this episode goes the way it does and ends the way it does. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I will say though, like, Zach, I'm a parent now. I am a parent. I have a child, and wouldn't be stoked if she if she dated an attempted murderer, meteor freak.
Right, but would you feel a little better about it if she was invulnerable to almost everything?
I suppose that would be different.
Also, I just to give you a tip in case you were going to try the parenting tactic they use in this, if you tell your teenage kid that they can't do something under any circumstances, they're going to fucking do it.
I'm pretty sure my child is going to take my wisdom seriously. And I think everything I say will be gold to her.
Specifically when it comes to teenage romance.
Yep. Absolutely. I don't foresee this crashing and burning from my perspective at all. Q 10, not 10. That's just my marker for a very long time. 16 to 20 years later, we're still doing this fucking stupid podcast. And I'm like, Zach, I don't know what the fuck to do, man.
Wait, what are we doing in 16 years? Are we doing this cartoon, or we're back starting over again?
So by year 16, by years, and the years are flying by. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, dude. I think by year 16, we've of course finished Smallville. We did something else. We kind of tried to reformat a little bit, and we got really excited about it. And then everyone kind of dropped off, and we're like, fuck it, maybe we'll do Smallville again. And then so we do it again, and then we're like, now we have an idea for something else. And so now on year 16, we've just given up on whatever that idea is, and we've started Smallville a third time.
Are you saying our Family Matters podcast did not take off?
Despite our best efforts. I do Full House before I did Family Matters, but I love Family Matters.
There's so many things we could do
Fuck,
other than Smallville, but we have chosen Smallville, Brian.
Our Emily and I in the deep in the pandemic, right? Like truly losing our minds. Got about halfway through a very in-depth Full House zine that we were going to distribute by mail. And it's, I don't think I've ever posted what we've made thus far, but it is deranged. Like some real deep pandemic media.
I love it. I love it.
We watched all of Full House over the pandemic, and we had a lot of thoughts about it that we compiled into a zine, and it's not finished, and it probably never will be. But the files on my computer are cursed.
Unless COVID-20.
Unless we do it again.
Fingers crossed. COVID-20.
Okay, so at school the next day, Clark asks Chloe to help him see if others in Smallville have abilities similar to Alicia. Their conversation is interrupted when another classmate, who happens to be a fucking full old-ass adult, Tim Westcott...
I wrote in all caps, older than Whitney. This guy is ancient. Do they think if they throw a backpack on a senior citizen, we're just going to accept that they're fucking 18 years old?
I understand the limitations Central fucking Casting in Vancouver were under, but like, we gotta you just sent us a fucking adult man.
He makes Tom Welling look like a child.
I'm no fucking spring chicken, but that guy looks older than I am.
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And he might not
with your goatee, you would pass for a more realistic high schooler than this guy. Also, Brian, this guy, I'm pretty confident comes back in Smallville, but as a different character. In season 9, I think he plays the
still a high school student.
No, they lean into the adult. He plays the adult half of a Shazam-like character. It might even be Shazam, I don't know, but like a child who becomes a superhero and becomes in adult form.
Oh, hell yeah. I can't wait for season 9.
Season 9 is so fun, Brian. It's full-on Superman show.
Hell yeah. Speaking of Shazam, that second movie just flopped.
Yeah. Well, like, they've already waved the white flag on that whole universe.
I think that's part of it. I think superhero fatigue is part of it. It's just interesting of I didn't see the first movie, but it was generally well liked. I think it's got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, you know? Interesting.
I saw it with some kids and they enjoyed it. It's a kids movie and it's a fine kids movie.
Sure. Yeah, no one was. I heard it was okay, and no one was like, "You gotta see it."
Right.
Every now and again, Shazam. The first Shazam has been in our typically when Emily and I are thumbing through the streaming services, there's typically I would watch XXXXXXX. Shazam frequently makes it into I would watch, but never onto let's do it.
Yeah, it's the also ran.
Yeah, right.
The permanent also ran.
Yes.
Is there
Okay.
another Shazam-like character in DC, or was
I think I don't know, but I think Black Adam is similar. Kind of a similar thing.
I'm just looking? Season 11. No, that's not. Alec Abrams.
I don't know. Derek
Okay,
Hamilton,
it's the
actor.
character. We'll get to this in season 9, I guess. But
Sure. The actor Derek Hamilton, who plays Tim Westcott in this episode, does not have a profile on the Smallville wiki, which leads me to believe he may
it
not
may not
be
be
in.
him. Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's not him.
I guess we'll find out in season 9.
I thought he was in more than one episode, but it doesn't matter. We're talking about this episode.
So Tim Westcott approaches Chloe with an article he has written for the Smallville Torch about the opening of a historical exhibition. Tim notices Lois and asks her out on a date, which has that ever happened that easily in high school? It was a lot. I feel like a lot of high school dating is hemming and hawing and maybe and oh God, do they like me? I don't know if there's a lot of as an adult, I hit an okay point of liking someone or just do you want to go out sometime? High school, fucking forget about it. Forget about it.
Right. But you have to understand this guy's 75 years old.
You know what? I forgot.
So,
okay. Lois reluctantly agrees to the date. Clark then asks Tim if he saw anything that night at the Talon, and he remarks that he saw a blonde girl in the alley. I wonder Tim's involvement.
yeah. I don't think it's supposed to be a mystery.
Yeah, right. It's literally just who could have done this? Hi, I'm the oldest man alive. In his loft, Clark receives a visit from Alicia. He asks her if she was in the alley, and she says she again tells him that she had nothing to do with Lana's attack. However, she admits that she was not wearing her bracelet because giving up her powers was like being in prison. She asks Clark if he could ever give up his powers, and he says he'd rather not have them than hurt anyone. Any thoughts?
No, I would say Alicia. I don't think you get to be that indignant about it literally 1 year ago you did try to kill this person.
Alicia, I know in teenager time a year ago is forever, but it's not. It
also,
just
literally
happened.
last week she was very remorseful and I know what I did wrong. It takes more than a week to for the public for things to heal. Just a little understanding.
The guy whose dick you're touching isn't fully sold yet. It's going to take everybody else a little time. Yeah. That night, Clark goes to the Talon to give his mom a ride home. Lana and Jason are there, but Jason is reluctant to go, even though he has homework. Clark and Martha convince Jason that they will watch over Lana. In his car...
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Jason, my ex-boyfriend, will stay here
and
with
his
me.
mom. And his mom. Okay, in his car, about to leave, Jason is attacked from behind. A green scarf is pulled around his neck by an unknown assailant. He manages to hit the car horn until Clark comes out and saves him. At the hospital...
Literally just comes up and breaks the window, and then the killer runs away. So he didn't do a whole lot.
Not a lot of Supermaning there. At the hospital, Lana has a run-in with Genevieve Teague. Genevieve laughs away Jason's theory that she orchestrated their quote-unquote chance meeting. Genevieve then confronts Lex and asks him to hire Jason because she believes it will separate him and Lana.
They're trying to do a female Lana thing that it's just not. It's
Yeah,
too separate from the stuff I care about.
That's a very good way to articulate it.
He does have one really smart line. She says that Jason should go get looked at by a real doctor. So she has been to Smallville Medical. She's seen what goes on there. They have a reputation.
Clark asks Alicia why her scarf was in Jason's car, and she again maintains her innocence. She realizes that he now thinks she's guilty too, and states that if everybody knew about Clark's powers, he'd be a suspect too.
Hey, she says, why? Because of my powers? Because I'm a freak? No, again, because you tried to murder someone 1 year ago. Just again.
1 year ago.
This would be the case if you had powers or not.
A junior year, you tried to kill someone, and now it's senior year, and the you gotta see this. You gotta see this though.
And she's not a murderer. I'll give her that successfully, but she is a little cray-cray. Like she's done some questionable shit even since she's been, in
this episode, she's not even fully there.
No, she does some real sketchy stuff.
Also, even in the last episode, she's still red cake. She red caked Clark.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Things aren't good.
Also, this is a spoiler alert for what you're going to read in the next paragraph, but the whole ending of the last episode was she would rather die than reveal his secret. Let's just remember that.
I also had that thought. Okay.
Let's remember that.
Clark urges Alicia to come to the sheriff with him and explain everything, but she says she won't go unless he reveals his powers too. Clark can't do it, and Alicia teleports away. Clark takes the scarf to Sheriff Nancy Adams, but she reveals that Alicia is no longer a suspect because she herself was in an interrogation room with Alicia at the time Jason was attacked. Alicia shows up at the Torch office where Chloe is working late. High schooler. Working late on a school newspaper.
She has her own keys.
Clearly. She remarks that one of Chloe's closest friends is one of the so-called meteor freaks about whom she writes. Sometimes there's this insinuation that Chloe knows something's up with Clark, right? Chloe knows there's something up. And yet this episode treats it as whoa, what?
Right, yeah. Yes, that has been the whole season has been she's kind of onto him.
Right.
And now she's absolutely not. A meteor freak? That's insane. So Alicia doesn't know he's an alien. She thinks he's a meteor freak.
I guess so, yeah. Okay. Does she not?
She knows he has an allergy to meteor rock.
Right. Yeah, I guess I think maybe in the season 3 episode, Johnny K's you tell her everything? And he's no, she just knows that I have powers.
Right.
I think
that's correct. Johnny, that's how she finds out about, because she's listening, and he goes, right. I suppose you told her you were also allergic to green meteor rock. He's no, obviously didn't.
Right. Okay. So Chloe asks why she should believe her, and Alicia teleports them into her car. Driving dangerously fast, she calls Clark and tells him her car's brakes are failing. Instantly, just to be clear, your car's brakes were failing. Like you'd have time to call for your fucking bud.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, instantly Chloe and Alicia are teleported out of the car, out of sight, and Clark super speeds to the scene. The car speeds into road construction, sending it flying through the air towards Clark. Chloe watches as Clark splays his hands out, catches the car sideways in midair, turns it right side up, and gently lowers it to the ground. Catches the car, Wiki. Catches the car. Would have been fine.
Cool. Is the cool effect. They clearly spent some money on it in
this
2004.
This is a big moment.
This is a huge moment, and it'll be played back, I think, in the opening credits for a long time. I will say it's a good thing they teleported out of there, because even though Clark catches the car, it's still going like 70 miles an hour. They would be dead. He saved the car. He did not save them if they're still inside the car.
I don't know if you know this. I've talked about it on the show. I recently got a car that got totaled a week later. 1 week later got totaled. And that now anytime I see anyone being just like, you don't know what you have. How are you being irresponsible with that car?
Did you ever find out who was responsible?
Yeah, currently there is yes, we have his information. He is denying it. In currently the insurance company suing insurance company thing, he is denying it. What he can't explain is why he would have given me his license and registration if he didn't hit my car with his truck.
Didn't he drive off?
What's that? He did, but a couple of neighborhood guides helped me find him. It's a
New
whole
York.
mess.
It's got to be on video.
What's that? A bodega guy's got the video, but it's a whole pain in the ass to get it. It's gonna be fine, but
yeah, that's a pain in the ass. Ugh.
But I am a little like, what are you doing to your car? Do you know how easily you can get out of the city with that? Come on.
I was gonna say that's almost a car crash. That could be, because I don't think that thing's driving so well after flipping through the air like that.
Right. I don't think it counts. I think Clark caught it, but
yeah, no, I don't think it counts either. But it's close. It's the closest we've ever come without actually doing it.
Yes. I think you could get that to where it has to go. Maybe not much farther, but
right, yeah, to the mechanic. That thing will roll into the mechanic.
Okay, sorry, just looking for my place here. Okay, so Clark sees that the car is empty. Confused, he super speeds away and never seems to call Alicia like, yo, what up? I caught your car. You're not in it. Also, you could have teleported out of this in the first place, so I guess this was just saving your property.
I guess it's my mom's car. She'll be so mad.
Why were you... You could teleport anywhere in the first place. Why? All right. Chloe is left stunned, speechless at witnessing a display of Clark's powers. Once again, would die 1 episode ago. 1 year ago, she tried to kill Lana. 1 episode ago, I die before I told you your secret.
Or if you hurt my feelings and I want to prove a point, then I will reveal your secret. Just either one of those, I'll die or I'll reveal it. One of those two will happen.
Lois's date with Tim turns from awkward to creepy when Tim offers his opinions of Lana and Jason's relationship. He states that a teacher dating a high schooler is wrong and they got what they deserved. Lois...
He doesn't appear to think Lana is the victim there. He's like a high school, a teacher or a football coach dated this young lady and they both have to die.
And once again, to be clear, if this happens to be your first episode and you're just diving in or haven't listened in a while, Jason Teague is a college assistant football coach. And this is a gray area at best.
Yes. I like they have Lana just in case that people in the audience didn't know. Lana says, they're both over 18. Which is weird. So Lana must have been held back.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of 18-year-old seniors in my grade. I think so.
You turn 18 during the school year, right? Like it's like October is the cutoff.
You're right. We're in
Also, they're both 18 and they haven't done it yet.
That's right. They're both fucking virgins. I don't think I lost my virginity until I was like 21.
Oh yeah, I was older. I'm just saying, but I didn't have a girlfriend that I traveled across the world
with her own
with,
apartment.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right. Good point. Good point.
Would not have, nothing would have gotten in my way if we were both 18.
What about Catholic guilt?
No, I don't think so. It wasn't that strong.
Mine was. That same high school girlfriend that I mentioned earlier. My Catholic guilt, I was like, get off of me. Buddy, I was Catholic.
I mean, I have the guilt still, but I was not a believer at that point. So the guilt still stays there, sadly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still culturally Catholic. No, I probably wasn't. I think in Vancouver when we met, I was in the middle of like my deepest, like, oh, this isn't real. Like that's when it was happening, you know?
Yeah.
Years and years and years later, I was at my cousin Megan's wedding, and let's see, not a direct uncle, my aunt's sister's husband, who, you know, comes to all the family parties and stuff, were at the bar after the wedding. And this is a very Italian Catholic family, right? And he's, after many, many drinks, is like, yeah, I don't want my dad to know, but, and he's a 50-year-old man, I don't believe in God anymore. And he's telling me all of the, you know, atheist literature he's begun to read, and it's all the shit we were maybe picking up at 17.
Bertrand Russell.
It's the Dawkins stuff, the God delusion, like all the stuff that, like, I'm 17 and this is real. And it's like, you know what? I good luck on your journey, my friend. Like,
I love it.
We all gotta start somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
It's I think maybe any other atheists out there can confirm. I feel like you start, especially when you grow up in a religious family or religious community, you start and it's maybe a core part of your personality. And like, this is important to me. And then eventually you mellow out, and it's kind of like, I kind of just wish everyone would shut up about every aspect of this. None of this is interesting.
No. Yes. Agreed. Yeah.
Just is what it is.
It's like, yeah, I agree with you, man. Shut up. Right. I know.
Right. Exactly. I was like, yeah, no, I did this when I was 17. But it's, I don't want to talk to anyone about things I was interested in when I was 17, including this.
Except Smallville.
Except Smallville.
Come on. You literally just discounted our entire podcast.
Sorry, I have one more quick story about religion. But my uncle at one point, who was my godfather, at one point, I'm fully an adult by this point, but he's like, "Hey, I have this book. I want you to read it." And it was like, "Whatever you think of it is fine, and we could talk about it. I just want you to read it." And the book was Rediscovering Catholicism. And it was like, it's like, if you think it's fucking stupid, that's fine. Just like read it and let's talk about it. And I did, and we did. And it did no selling. And to his credit, he, held up his end. We talked about it, and we had a very civil discussion, and, shook hands at the end of it. But I kept the book. I didn't like throw out the book or anything. And so my mom was helping me move out of an apartment. And my mom saw like Rediscovering Catholicism among my books. And
all excited.
She very silently, she was like very silently excited, like, ooh, maybe maybe he's coming around. And I had to, then eventually I'm telling her that story. And she's like, oh, I thought that, like, no, your fucking brother gave that to me.
Sorry,
and
Mom.
I read it, and it was fucking stupid. I guess we should keep talking about Smallville. I guess. Okay.
Smallville / religion podcast.
And it's an excuse to talk to my buddy every week. That's what this show is. The Smallville is a thin framework. Okay. I'm still just looking for it. He states that a teacher dating a high schooler is wrong. They got what they deserved. Lois is unsettled by this comment, and the date ends abruptly.
Yeah, it's a classic first date overshare by this guy.
Yeah, right.
He's like, yeah, I hate change. I think Smallville should be like it was before the 80s. And I think those two teenagers deserve to be attacked.
Yeah, I wonder what went wrong here. It all seems golden to me. Lois meets Chloe in Wiki. Lois meets Chloe in Talon. Lois meets Chloe in Talon and asks if she has seen Clark, but Chloe can't answer properly. That's why it was like, "Have you seen Clark? Have I seen Clark do what?" It's a good scene. It's good.
She's like, "I'm sure he's zipping around looking for Alicia."
Lois tells Chloe that she has suspicions about the murderer. She asks Chloe if she is all right and goes away to find Clark.
Suspicions? This guy pretty much just told her he's the murderer.
Yeah, right. At her barn, Alicia encounters Tim, who boldly states that he's there looking for something belonging to her to leave at the next murder.
Why doesn't she teleport away right then?
Right then. Well,
just teleport away.
And then just tell your superpowered boyfriend what's going on. Alicia, this could have gone different. This could have gone different.
This could have gone very different.
She realizes that Tim is the one framing her, but is unable to get away before he drugs and overpowers her.
So he chloroforms her, but it takes like 10 seconds. She could have teleported away while he was chloroforming her.
Lots of opportunities here.
Yeah. I'm not saying she deserved to die, but
just saying you could have tried to not die a little harder. At the Luther Mansion,
she wanted it. She wanted that. That's all I'm saying.
At the Luther Mansion.
Kidding.
At the Luther Mansion, Genevieve tries to persuade Lex to help separate Jason and Lana, saying that she could provide Lex with information about his father's release from prison. Do you think I'm from this storyline, from this Genevieve storyline with Jason, I'm really under the impression the writers were taking this week by week.
Oh, they had to have been. Not week by week, but like they did not think this through.
Which, don't get me wrong, I'll do when I'm running like Dungeons and Dragons. I'll take like, here's a bad guy. I don't really know what their plan is yet, but they'll start showing up here.
Sure.
But that's not a television show. That's drinking beer with my friends.
I mean, we're just back to this is 22 episodes a year.
Right.
You know, that just sometimes we just gotta keep the characters in idle.
Yeah.
Move them a little bit each week.
Right.
Maybe we took a wrong turn. We got to go back.
Right. So Clark arrives at the barn looking for Alicia and finds her body hanging from a noose. Which is real. He gets her down, but she is already dead. Clark cradles Alicia's body as he cries in his grief. Lois appears and tells Clark that she knows who is responsible. Clark goes to confront Tim. I feel like Tom's doing some acting here.
He is acting, yes. So he uses his heat vision to burn the rope down.
Right.
How does he explain that to the cops when they show up? Like, yeah, she was hanging and I wanted to get her down, so I got a lighter and I burnt the rope down because I figured that would be the quickest way to do it.
I think if anyone has any questions, you go, a teenager is dead.
Yes. Also, did they leave the scene of the crime?
I think so.
Yeah, great. I think because she's like, I think I know who did this, and they just bounce.
Just gotta go. That's a good point. Clark finds Tim, and after an intense fight, defeats him by severely burning him with his heat vision. In a rage, Clark then attempts to strangle him. Lois shows up just in time, and her pleading causes Clark to break down and halt his attack. Jason meets Lex in his office and is surprised when Lex offers him a job paying $100,000 a year. Suspicious, Jason asks whether his mother put Lex up to it to end his relationship with Lana. Lex confirms this and suggests they work together against Genevieve. I just learned MSNBC, I believe, posted an article recently in New York City, the garbage city where I have called home for the past several years. $100,000 is the equivalent of $30,000.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, yeah. You're
feeling it. So when Lex is talking to Genevieve, she offers him if he helps break up these two 18-year-old, like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
First of all, they're 18, let them fuck up. Okay, so if he helps her break up this relationship, she will give him the information as to how his dad got his conviction overturned. Is that not public record? Can you have a secret overturning of a conviction?
Great point. I wasn't even thinking. This episode moves so fast. I wasn't even thinking about that.
So a billionaire went to prison.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the news.
Mm-hmm.
He went to prison for murder. They let him out of prison, and no one knows why.
Jesus Christ, Smallville. If only we weren't living in a time where we had a detailed knowledge and experience of watching a billionaire maybe go to prison.
Gosh, I hope so.
Which it was we're recording this on it's 12:30 now on the East Coast, but it's Tuesday. It's the Tuesday that Mr. Former President Donald Trump said he was maybe going to get arrested. I don't know why we were all banking so much on this guy's word.
Yeah.
I don't know why we were all like, well, this must be happening if he said it.
Right, yeah.
Because just right now... It's also funny how, like, it's going to be way uneventful. Like, no one's busting into Mar-a-Lago. It's going to be, if an arrest happens, it's going to be lawyers are going to call lawyers. There's going to be a date scheduled for him to come in. Like,
of course.
Yeah.
I
guess, any other thoughts on the Trump indictment, Zach, before we go back to Smallville?
God. I mean, just no, because I'm just going to get mad.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later. Days later, Clark is in his loft, forlornly throwing a ball against a wall. His parents show up, worried that he's been in the loft by himself for 2 days straight. Yeah, his super girlfriend just died. Like, hung herself, and he found her. Get this kid some therapy. And then he went and sat in his fucking loft for therapy. Now.
They're like, Clark, I know you're sad, but you fucking reek. It's been 2 days. Can you please come take a shower? We could smell you from inside the house. It's disgusting.
Also, get over it. We told you not to date this girl.
Yeah, we told you how we felt about the girl.
He tells them that he can't forgive himself for not going to reveal his powers when Alicia asked him to, and feels responsible for her death. Martha and Jonathan respond by trying to comfort him. I think there's some good Welling stuff here. As good as he could do with the material. This show is a Tom Welling defender. Every guest we have on this show is like, Tom Welling's bad. No, he's not.
No, especially not this season, Brian. This is he actually is an MVP candidate this season.
Agreed.
I think he is in the running because we've gotten so little John Glover. I mean, it could be his year.
I fully agree. And you know what? He's my dark horse. I'm hoping for it.
The switch in tone to silliness, not apparent in this episode, but throughout most of the season, has benefited him greatly. The introduction of Erica Durance, who he has actual chemistry with, has benefited him greatly.
100%.
The introduction of Alicia, who he has actual chemistry with,
100%.
has benefited him greatly. This could be his year.
I hope so. You know what? I hope so. I got the Tom Welling t-shirt on.
It's the baby onesie. It fits you though. That's weird.
I am. If you've never joined in on any of our live streams, I actually am a baby. I'm a man in a baby's body, so it is me, just like a baby hands. So I do fit in a baby onesie. So is this bit clear or making sense? Oh, Zach's frozen. We'll be back. That's what we do now. We play the sad trombone when there's a technical difficulty, and we just come back. Zach, you were frozen, but now you're back.
In the middle of our back baby bit.
Were you? I didn't even hear a back baby bit.
No, I was saying you are a back baby who emerged from a normal sized Brian's body.
Yeah, shit. That's a bit that we should just carry on. You know what's great about a bit is when you say that that's the bit you're just going to keep doing.
Yes, it's great. It's just awful. Let's just end this.
And another bit gets shot in the back of the head and just left in the graveyard. Can someone compile a list of just Talon makes bits that are dead? At the Torch office, Lois shows up and Chloe asks if she should tell a friend that she knows a secret the friend hasn't told her yet. Lois offers that if no one's being hurt by the secret, she should wait for the friend to tell her. Do you agree with that advice, Zach? I don't know.
I mean, I think it would depend on what the secret is. I think this one, I would probably tell him pretty quick.
I'd think so?
Yo, remember all the times I was like, "Hey, what's up?" and you were like, "Nothing." Well, now I know something's up. So, thanks for gaslighting me.
Yeah, wow,
for the past 4 years.
Right. Chloe begins to take down the articles about Clark that are posted on the Wall of Weird. Chloe meets Clark at Alicia's grave. God, I love teen dramas. And how you can just show up at, like, can you meet anybody without, like, 6 texts, like, chaining, like, of, like, hey, I'm going to be here around this time, I'm going to be, like, 15 minutes late, like, blah, 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 blah. Teen dramas, you can just be like, I'll just pop by the cemetery, I bet Clark's there.
She called, and Mama Kay was like, oh, yeah, he went to go sit by a grave for 3 hours, so you probably have time. Just head over there, you'll catch him.
Chloe meets Clark by Alicia's grave. She drops subtle hints that she understands his situation, but Clark is not ready to open up. It is a lot of like, it must have been hard for her to not be understood and to be different.
And have no one to talk to about it.
She tells them that she is there for him if he ever needs to talk. I do think it's a good Allison Mack scene. Clearly, this is a big scene for her, and I do think she brought it. And
this is the new phase, the next phase we're entering in. We just finished the one where she kind of knows something's up, and now we're in the phase where she knows, but he doesn't know she knows.
Right.
Which is a fun little string. Yeah. It'll take us through the end of the season.
What fun. Featured music this episode. We have I Love Rock and Roll performed by Erica Durance and Allison Mack. The karaoke cover, which we have confirmed is not up for consideration in Needle Drops because it happens diegetically in the episode. Not that I think it was a huge contender anyway.
I was going to say, although this is the season where we're going to have to challenge that.
I will bring Emily into, and we'll make some cases, but
I have a few arguments in favor of including maybe just that specific one.
Maybe there are exceptions. We do have to keep that exception in mind going forward into like it might set precedent. We'll see. Could something be both? Could something be?
Here's a preview of my argument. If the song in question has previously been a needle drop,
we're gonna have
maybe if it comes back diegetically, that can count as a needle drop.
So
it's a loophole. It's a loophole that we have to.
I think what we have to do, because I think we agree. I can't like pretend that like I'm gonna make a case against it because I think we agree. So ultimately, Emily set the arbitration before. I think we both just have to present our argument to Emily. And see if she grants us this clearance.
I do feel like there must be a way to overturn a ruling.
There has to be.
If we don't agree with her ruling.
I think I agreed with it when it happened.
No, yeah, we both said it was all. I'm saying it shouldn't be just you and me deciding to overturn it. There should be more people involved.
You're right.
In overturning it.
You're right. Maybe if you're on the Discord and wants to take part, maybe we'll have a whole Congress on.
Yeah, we have to wait so they can see the moment in question.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, the other featured music episode is To Die For by Dan Zwieben and Deeper Water by Minnie Driver. I assume the Minnie Driver.
Yeah, there's only one. There can be only one.
There can be only
Minnie Driver.
One. No Lionel Luther this episode. I'm cold reading here from notes. When this episode is aired in the UK and Australia, the shot of Alicia hanging from the noose was cut, presumably because it was deemed inappropriate. This episode has some deleted scenes on the season 4 DVDs. Clark and Alicia are on their way home from the Talon. She is apprehensive, but he is trying to assure her that the evening will be fun. And Jason confronts Alicia about Lana's attack. Interesting. That does make me feel better that Alicia wasn't just like, this'll be fine.
Real bonehead move, Clark. Yeah. Real bonehead move.
Tim Westcott's sand ability is very similar to that of Flint Marko, also known as the Sandman, a well-known Spider-Man villain. You're right, Wiki.
Not similar, it's the same.
When Clark nearly kills Tim at the end of this episode, it demonstrates the remarkable amount of control Clark already possesses over his strength. While Clark is in the process of strangling him, despite being nearly insane with rage, he doesn't break his neck or pull off his head or do any of the things that his immense strength would allow him to do with ease. Instead, Clark simply grabs him by the neck and compresses. Taking into account Clark's previous displays of strength, this scene means that, despite appearances, Clark isn't actually very rough on Tim by his own estimation. In fact, treating Tim very gently, given his vast power. Thank you, Wiki. That is the stretch of the episode.
That took that person so much time to write.
It's so long. It was such a mouthful. Erica Durance is not credited in this episode.
Doesn't seem right.
She's not in the credits yet, and she appears to not get a special guest star. Weird. As long as she
really
got paid,
weird.
I guess it doesn't matter that much, but the union might have some notes about that. Here's potentially another stretch. Zach, what do you think about this? Clark catching the car alludes to the cover of Action Comics #1, Superman's first appearance.
No, because he doesn't hold it above his head.
Yeah, right? Superman and Lois has a literal, allusion to it. You see Superman catch the car, and it's like, he's being Superman. Which, oh man, by the way, I didn't talk about it what we were watching. Superman and Lois came back, and season 3 premiere is a mess.
Oh no.
I'm not ready to write it all off yet, because Superman or Smallville has plenty of season premieres that are messy with good seasons. They had to do some backpedaling, some forward pedaling. Mess.
Oh, the good old network TV premiere.
That said, it says something that I still like it. Even if an episode wasn't good, I'm still I'm glad I spent an hour here. I like seeing these characters.
Oh.
That's what a TV show should be. It's not all about the plot, gang. Don't get too over-focused on plot. Sometimes it can just be I like these actors. I like them in these characters. Oh, no. Oh, Zach, there are so many. I gave the Stretch Award so early. So early. There are so many nominees, my dude. When Clark cries over Alicia's body, he does it in a way reminiscent of the way Superman cries over Kara's body in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and when he cries over Lois's body in Superman the movie.
No, that's the winner. There's only so many ways you can cry over someone's body.
I think that might just be
Just the one way.
That is, I gave Stretch too early. That is the stretch of the episode.
That's the stretch. It's just a stretch.
Let's see here. Just continuity section. Nothing interesting. Spoilers. Nothing interesting. Illusions. Lois and the name of Alicia Baker came up more than once in a Bunny Boiler kind of way. The Bunny Boiler comment is an allusion to Glenn Close's character in the film Fatal Attraction. Close plays a woman who boils the pet rabbit of her ex-lover's daughter to death as a revenge. This is the third reference to the film in the show. Lineage and Obsession are the other episodes. Chloe says that Jason pulled a TJ Hooker. Chloe says that Alicia can transport easier than James T. Kirk. Let's see. Lois says it sounds like something off of the Sci-Fi Channel. That's a thing. The show Krypton will play on Sci-Fi.
Well,
we could watch the show Krypton, Zach, when we're done with Smallville.
Boo. Boo. Not unless Marlon Brando's in it and he pronounces it Krypton.
I hope so.
Krypton.
I guess that's everything, Zach. Anything else we need to go over?
No, I think that's it, man. It's good to be back.
It's good to be back,
baby.
It's good to be back. It's also good to be back in a space where I'm just going to hit stop on this and then just upload this as it is.
Fuck
I
yeah.
hope it's good.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the Talon Mix, the Smallville recap podcast. We have a Patreon. We don't expect you to join it by any means, but that said, we do an extra episode a month. It's usually us just dicking around. We have a Discord. There's a link in the description of this podcast as well. I think that's everything. Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
Yes. Smallville gods. Will Brian ever find the audio to the previous episode we recorded?
Good night, everybody.